We've all been there before. We have a big interview coming up. We're nervous, we're scared, we're searching on the internet to try to solve our problems, and maybe we'll find a YouTube video that has the answers for all the new trending interview questions so you can prepare the best. If we were to bring you on and in 60 days we have to let you go, what's the most likely reason we have to let you go? So in this video, I'm going to go over a few points. So first, what we're searching for or what we're screening for specifically, and why these questions kind of help us screen for them. Next, we're going to go over my top 5 interview questions. I do have about 15 or 16 that we ask in the course of an interview, but woven in there are my top 5 that really help us screen down. And last, we're going to go over some additional filters. It's things that may come up in the course of an interview that would help filter down your qualified candidate pool to give you the best candidate, or if you're a candidate, you want to be included in that pool. So for what I'm really screening for here, we're looking for kindness, which is going to be our candidate's ability to be kind in every circumstance. Obsession, are they obsessed with the product categories that we sell at the store? And then we're also going to be looking for a vibe or community. And what I mean by that is, how will they fit in and integrate into your current staff mix and community mix? We have a retail store with large communities that play card games, so their ability to fit in with the communities and your team is something that you're going to be screening for. Let's jump in and look at my 5 favorite interview questions. So first up, this one is really, really important, but kind of boring. But it is, what is your availability? And this can disqualify people that are awesome, like right off the bat, and your interview can kind of end. I've had interviews that were scheduled for 30 minutes and stop in 5 minutes because the availability didn't line up. And even though we have a phone screening and everything else, you really want to make sure that the shifts that are available line up with the candidate that you're hiring, and vice versa. Make sure you have open availability. If you go into an interview and you have really restricted availability from when you can work, it is going to completely destroy your interview. Like you're not going to get that job if your availability isn't going to align with their needs. So making sure that happens early in the interview process saves everyone a lot of time. Question number 2 is, when was the last time you went out of your way to do something kind for someone you didn't know? And if there's any hint here, this is screening for kindness. So, and it's not work related. This question is awesome because it stops people in their tracks, and sometimes they can't think of the last time they were kind to someone in the last decade. And sure, maybe they have been, but we like to hire folks that have really creative or great answers for this. And sometimes it's, oh yeah, there was a community member at one of the events I played at, and I gave them a deck, and it just helped them get into the hobby, or I helped someone change their flat tire or jumpstart their car, or the candidates that have something just like flowing with responses to this question it's usually a really good sign. If a candidate doesn't have a great answer for this, sometimes that can be okay, but it does help indicate that we're screening for someone that can be kind in every aspect of their life. Next question, question number 3. What have you been obsessed with lately, or what is your current obsession? This question helps us really identify what they're into, and usually avoids the trap of, oh, this is a game store, I'm going to mention all the games at that store that I play. If you ask someone what they're obsessed with lately, what we're trying to ask is, when you go home and you have free time today, what are you most excited to be doing? Is it a mobile game? Is it sewing? Is it painting? Is it a card game? And that doesn't need to be a game that we sell, but it's good to know what their hobbies are and see if they align, and help that vibe. It kind of helps the vibe and obsession screening. Next up, and this is probably the coolest question, I found this question on a TikTok video. If we were to bring you on and in 60 days we had to let you go, what's the most likely reason why we had to let you go? This question is never answered immediately, and candidates sit there, and it's a trap. It's a trap. But it is a creative way of asking a candidate what their weaknesses are. And it's forcing them to give a weakness. And the trap is, as a candidate, is you still don't give a weakness. You do anything but give a weakness. You try to find a creative way to weave a strength into weakness town. Like, I care too much, or I work too hard, or what ends up happening is candidates will say something like, I really struggle with attendance, or they'll start giving you a story of a time they had a bad experience at a last job, and all of a sudden you're taking lots of notes and you're really drilling down on, okay, is this how deep of a hole is this? And usually it's like attendance based or a little bit more soft, and candidates are 50-50 on this question on whether or not they completely let their guard down and give a weakness, or if they're able to navigate it properly. And question number 5 is more telling and open-ended, but why do you believe this job will be a good fit for you is kind of a canned question and pretty standard, I suppose. I'm in a customer service business where we're constantly providing kindness and service and being nice and sometimes bubbly and encouraging to our customers that come in and play at the store. And this is an opportunity for them to sell you on why they will be a good fit in your company. So for bonus credit, some of the filtering that I would look at during an interview that may not come up in these things I'm like intentionally screening for are going to be things like work ethic, integrity, and team skills. In past versions of our interview, we would really highly incentivize work ethic. And not that it's not important, of course it's important, but kindness and obsession and vibe is so much more important that it ends up being kind of secondary. We can work on holding people accountable and improve their work ethic a little bit over time, but you definitely want to see if there are any red flags of work ethic being an issue. And so as stories come up in this process through an interview, if there's any questions of work ethic, that is going to help you filter your candidates out. And integrity is a really hard thing to determine in an interview, unless your candidate or unless you as a candidate really overshares information that isn't really necessary. And team skills. So if during the course of the interview there's ever any issues with working with a coworker where you had to go to a supervisor because there was some dispute, huge red flag. Team skills are something that are sort of really, really vital. So, but that's pretty much it. That's what I'm screening for in the interview. It is a little atypical of how we used to do it 10 years ago and how I was interviewed for jobs back in the day. But kindness, obsession, and do they pass the vibe check? And do we want to be around this person? And do they amplify the experience for our customers in the store? But this is a new channel adventure for me. Our main channel is on the Kingslayer Games page, and that's where we talk about more Kingslayer card game type content. And this is a place where I can kind of have a little bit more free spirit with the content style. And let me know if this is helpful for either interview prep, whether you're a candidate or conducting an interview, and if it's relevant in your space. Thanks for sticking to the end, and we'll see you in the next one.